After 4 rounds of the Champions League, the competition has become a mirror reflecting the true strength of European football, and in that reflection, the Premier League stands taller than the rest. England's 5 representatives, from Arsenal soaring high, to the quietly efficient Manchester City, and Newcastle United pushing beyond all limits, are all firmly planted within the top 12. Liverpool, Tottenham, and Chelsea complete this picture, each contributing in their own way. No grand promises are made, yet every match feels like a statement. Football from the land of the fog remains powerful, resilient, and unmistakably English. The Champions League table after 4 matchdays increasingly reflects the strength of Europe's elite leagues. What stands out most is the sheer dominance of the Premier League, with all 5 English clubs occupying spots in the top 12. In a tournament as unforgiving as the Champions League, controlling nearly half of the leading positions is no small feat. It underscores the depth, quality, and consistency of English football at this stage of the season. The most striking story in this group is Arsenal. Mikel Arteta's side is flying high, boasting a perfect record of 4 wins from 4 matches and scoring 11 goals. With 12 points, the Gunners share the top spot alongside Bayern Munich and Inter Milan. After making waves in the Premier League, Arsenal has brought their trademark pressing, discipline, and pace to Europe, proving they are no longer underdogs but genuine title contenders. It's a clear testament to the remarkable progress of the North London club in recent seasons. Right behind them, Manchester City sits 4th with 3 wins and a draw. Under Pep Guardiola, City remains the epitome of stability, and their recent triumph over Borussia Dortmund further cements their status as a top contender for the Champions League crown. Meanwhile, Newcastle United is another fascinating story, sitting 6th with 9 points, despite limited European experience. The Magpies have shown boldness and fierce fighting spirit, particularly in exploiting their home advantage to the fullest. Liverpool occupies 8th place with 9 points after a crucial win over Real Madrid. Under Arne Slot, they have maintained their distinctive European DNA. At the lower end of the pack, Tottenham Hotspur is 10th with 8 points, and Chelsea 12th with 7. Both holding on to hopes of progressing beyond the group stage. While neither side has truly exploded yet, their results give them reason to remain optimistic. Overall, the current landscape highlights the dominance of English football in Europe. Clubs from Germany and Spain continue to perform well, but the depth, tactical adaptability, and consistency of Premier League squads give them a decisive edge on the continental stage. Arsenal has made all of Europe look at them differently. They are no longer just the beautiful team that earns praise, they now play with one singular goal: winning. Every pass, every press is purposeful, cold, and executed with near-perfect precision. Arteta is no longer chasing aesthetics, he's chasing absolute efficiency. And strangely, it's by abandoning flair that Arsenal have become more fearsome than ever. They don't need to score heaps of goals, it's enough to gradually drain hope from their opponents. Arsenal are playing a peculiar, almost ruthless style of football. Gone is the attacking flourish we once knew. They've now won all 4 Champions League games, and the most astonishing part? They haven't conceded a single goal. This is a radically different Gunners, a cold, pragmatic version under Mikel Arteta's guidance. Just last season, after being knocked out by Paris Saint-Germain in the semifinals, Arteta emotionally admitted, "We deserve to win, but the Champions League is decided at both ends of the pitch." Now, he's found the perfect solution. Arteta's side has entered this Champions League campaign with a burning ambition to conquer, starting with the construction of an impenetrable wall at the back. The numbers speak volumes. Their 3-0 victory over Slavia Prague not only brought 3 crucial points but also marked a historic milestone: 8 consecutive clean sheets across all competitions. An unprecedented defensive record in 122 years of Emirates Stadium history. Look at David Raya and the 7 crucial saves he made over 4 matches. You might think Arsenal are lucky. They're not. It's a meticulously calculated system crafted by Arteta and his players. Success stems from the almost telepathic understanding between William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. 2 giants moving in perfect harmony, so much so that Arteta calls their connection the key to the defense. They love playing together, they respect each other, and that's very important, he says. Even deeper, the Arsenal mindset now values clean sheets as much as scoring goals. In last week's Premier League clash with Burnley, all 10 outfield players sprinted 80 meters at full pace to block a routine shot. It wasn't about technique, it was discipline and survival instinct. After the match, Arteta said proudly, "See 10 players running full stretch, with focus, discipline, and desire. With that, we will win many games. Ahead lies a high-stakes showdown with Bayern Munich. If the Gunners continue their unbeaten streak while keeping clean sheets, they will not only secure top spot in the group but also send a chilling warning to the rest of Europe. Now, anyone hoping to beat Arsenal must accept one reality: they're not just facing a football team, they're facing a steel fortress, not a garden of beauty. English football feels different this season. 6 Premier League teams have ventured into Europe, yet each tells its own story. Some carry the aura of champions, others quietly gather points, but every team shows a clear hunger and ambition. Amid the big names accustomed to the spotlight, surprises emerge from sides expected only to learn, and it's precisely these teams that inject life into the season. English football is no longer just a race for trophies, it's a journey to prove character, with each team expressing it in its own way. The Premier League boasts 6 representatives in the UEFA Champions League group stage this season, a record in itself. Yet the real shocker isn't Arsenal. Unbeaten and spotless at the back, but Newcastle United, a side far less expected to make waves. After a humbling home defeat on matchday 1 against Barcelona, Newcastle went on to win 3 consecutive matches, now sitting 6th, ahead of heavyweights like Real Madrid and Liverpool. In fairness, the Magpies performed admirably across all 4 matches, even in defeat to Barcelona, where Eddie Howe's side could only succumb to Pedri's midfield mastery and Marcus Rashford's brilliance. Against the other 3 opponents, Union Saint-Gilloise of Belgium, Benfica of Portugal, and recently Athletic Bilbao of Spain, Newcastle has been flawless. For a club with limited European pedigree and relative inexperience, accumulating maximum points against evenly matched challengers is immensely valuable, giving Eddie Howe flexibility for the remaining fixtures. Winning 3 straight matches is a triumph for Newcastle alone, but in the bigger picture, it also highlights the Premier League's clear superiority over other European leagues. Take Benfica, Lisbon's giants, a club rich in European experience and guided by the wily Jose Mourinho, and yet Newcastle still came out on top. Keep in mind, Newcastle are currently mid-table in the Premier League. The difference? Squad quality allowed the Magpies to solve problems that might have troubled lesser sides. Take, for example, last night against Athletic Bilbao. Historically, English sides have often approached Spanish opponents with caution, wary of their technical brilliance and cunning, which tends to neutralize the high-intensity English game. Yet Newcastle tore through the Basque side, relying on their physical superiority. The proof? Both of Newcastle's goals came from powerful headers, delivered by their aerial enforcers Dan Burn and Joelinton. Newcastle has impressed in one way, while Tottenham has done so in another. They may not have racked up as many points as the Magpies, but the Spurs have collected 8 points, sit comfortably in the top 10, and are still unbeaten. Beyond the points, Tottenham grabbed headlines in the latest round thanks to a classic solo run by centre-back Mickey van de Venerable. If Newcastle earns praise for beating evenly matched opponents, Tottenham also deserves recognition, especially their head coach, Thomas Frank. The Danish tactician had never managed in European competition before, usually leading smaller clubs. Yet he hasn't been overwhelmed. Instead, he has guided Spurs to play with intelligence and composure. Frank will need to build on this as Tottenham face tougher tests ahead, coming up against giants like Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund. People may talk about the rising stars like Arsenal or Newcastle United, but when it comes to true power, you still have to mention Liverpool and Manchester City. These 2 giants are the pillars that define English football's reputation, always knowing how to step up at the right moment. No matter their domestic form, no matter how shaky things might seem at home, the moment they hit the Champions League stage, they operate on a whole different level. And now, as they prepare to face each other in the Premier League this weekend, it feels like Europe is about to witness a new chapter in the familiar power struggle between 2 of the Premier League's modern-era heavyweights. Alongside the comprehensive displays of Arsenal and the surprising sparks from Newcastle and Tottenham, thanks in part to Mickey van de Ven and Thomas Frank, the Premier League still boasts its Champions League powerhouses, Liverpool and Manchester City. Don't let a few disappointing domestic results overshadow Liverpool's excellence in Europe. After 4 group stage matches, Arne Slot and his squad have already won 3. Their sole defeat to Galatasaray might have stung a little, but it's understandable. Who makes an easy visit to a stadium like Galatasaray's hell on earth? Moreover, the only goal Liverpool conceded was a somewhat controversial penalty scored by Victor Osimhen. The real highlights are in the victories, thrashing Eintracht Frankfurt 5-1 on German soil, and beating both Spanish giants, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. The recent win against the Los Blancos was especially telling. Despite Real's strong form, Liverpool completely outclassed them. Xabi Alonso's side simply couldn't cope with the sheer intensity of Liverpool's play. The Reds secured a narrow win, but the message sent was enormous. Slot and his players have shown that this squad is fearless in Europe, proving that Premier League football still operates at a league of its own. And yet, despite all this, Liverpool still maintain a top 8 position, more than enough to avoid an extra knockout round. Slightly edging out Liverpool is Manchester City, who have already racked up 10 points and sit in 4th place. On paper, City's first 4 fixtures might not look as grueling as Liverpool's, but the hurdles Pep Guardiola and his men have overcome are anything but simple. They've faced Napoli, the reigning Serie A champions, and Borussia Dortmund, a powerhouse regularly appearing in Europe's top competition. And yet, when matched against Man City, it's clear that neither Napoli nor Dortmund had a chance to snatch points. In short, whether they're on a hot streak or a dip, performing at peak or not, Liverpool and Man City remain the kings of the EPL when stepping onto the Champions League stage. Over the past seasons, these two clubs have been the most consistent English teams in Europe, with multiple deep runs and even titles to their name. Interestingly, this weekend, the two giants will clash on the domestic front. Meanwhile, as English clubs shine across Europe, Chelsea enters the Champions League in a curious position. They are by no means weak, they're the reigning World Club champions and recently secured a domestic double, but this season, things just haven't clicked. Moments of brilliance have produced chance after chance, only for the ball to slip past the goal, earning them a label of unlucky. Under the guidance of Enzo Maresca, Chelsea remains a project with solid foundations, simply in the middle of rediscovering its rhythm. And much like a chessboard where all the pieces are in place, the Blues will soon know how to make a move that startles all of Europe. Arsenal remains unbeaten, Tottenham and Newcastle continue to surprise, while Manchester City and Liverpool hold firm as the Premier League's hunting predators. Amid this roaring symphony of English football in the Champions League, there's just one note of pause: Chelsea. The recent 2-2 draw against Qarabağ disappointed many, yet fans, pundits, and club executives agree it was bad luck, not a lack of quality. The Blues' true strength remains unquestioned, they fear no one in Europe. In reality, under Enzo Maresca, Chelsea made history last season, clinching both the Conference League and the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Their triumph over reigning European champions Paris Saint-Germain in the Club World Cup final stands as a clear testament to their potential. Yet, stepping into this new season, the road to Champions League glory is littered with obstacles. The Qarabağ draw illustrates their misfortune. Despite dominating possession and creating 20 shots compared to the opponent's 9, the attack faltered in front of goal. Maresca once said, "Football is like a chess game, your opponent sets the board, and you must adapt strategically." But it seems Chelsea's Champions League game is currently disrupted by both external and internal factors. The biggest external issue is fatigue after a long, grueling season. Statistics show Chelsea has run the least distance in the Premier League this season, only 616 kilometers over the opening fixtures, highlighting the toll of competing in the Club World Cup. Domestic cups, Premier League, Champions League, and even FIFA Day. Fatigue has dulled sharpness and morale across the squad. Even psychologically, the team has been tested, yet faith remains absolute. Analysis shows Chelsea have lost only 5 matches in the past 6 months, with 4 of those losses involving red cards. This proves that when fully fit and focused, the squad's quality and depth are undeniable. Management remains calm, taking the long view rather than panicking over a few setbacks. With crucial upcoming fixtures against Barcelona and Bayern Munich, Maresca's men must regain their icy composure. Chelsea may be trapped in a stalemate for now, but with the quality of their squad and experience as 2-time European champions, they are more than capable of delivering a miraculous surge to assert themselves as top contenders. The European journey is far from over, and when the Champions League music begins again on cold nights, who knows what will happen? One thing is certain, English football is living in an era where every limit can be broken. Win or lose, these teams continue to deliver the purest emotion, a relentless hunger to prove themselves and reach glory in their own unique way. So, what about you? Which team do you think will emerge victorious in this relentless battle? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.